Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the second episode of Rico, Chet, the best warship show in the world. Here, guns test armor for durability.
Torpedoes test anti-torpedo defenses.
Besides that, in our show, we set up incredible experiments to find out which ship is cooler.
My dear colleague, I've already told you many times that they are all good. It's the player's skills that matter.
All of them are good? Let's see if that's true right now. Rico Chet kicks off.
Our heroes today are two Tier 8 cruisers. The first one is Charles Martel.
9 203mm guns. Firing range, 17.6 kilometers. Maximum armor-piercing shell damage, 4,900.
Which means that the French ship can deal a total of 44,100 damage per salvo. Charles Martel's Citadel is protected by 100mm of armor, while the Citadel armor itself is 40mm thick. The French ship is going to confront a Dutch one, Haarlem.
Here, we also have 9 203mm guns, and the maximum armor-piercing shell damage is 4,800.
The Dutch ship can deal a total of 43,200 damage per salvo. The cruiser is protected
with 27mm of plating plus a 200mm thick armor belt. Ha! How do you like her?
Oh yeah, that's impressive. But that's not all. The bow end of the Dutch cruiser is protected with a 40mm armor belt. In battle, such armor allows the ship to take hits even from battleships.
The ships are here, the viewers are here. It's time to find out who is stronger.
Дозывен провинций в мире.
Более подробную информацию о новой версии.
Ladies and gentlemen, sirs and madams, in the previous episode, you made a choice between Italian Dasha and British Dasha. Italian Dasha has won. Grazie mille amici. In today's vote, we have Fräulein Dasha from Germany and Ms. Dasha from the United States. For those who made the winning votes, we've prepared.
Let's start with the perfect shot.
Hey, wait, let's explain the perfect shot rules for our viewers. In this test, we align the ships parallel to each other. Charles Martel will be the first to fire, with 3 Haarlems as targets positioned 5, 10, and 15 kilometers away. The French ship will fire a single experimental armor-piercing shell. It is exactly the same as a standard shell, with the only difference being that the dispersion mechanics do not apply to it. We only use it in ricochet to achieve the desired results. These shells fly exactly to the point the shooter is aiming at.
And the shooter is aiming at the Citadel.
Yes, exactly. The aiming point is the center of the ship's hull at the waterline level. In the second test, the ships will reverse their roles. Haarlem will fire at 3 Charles Martels. The ship that scores the most Citadel hits will be declared the winner.
Let's get started. First shot.
The distance is 5 kilometers.
1,600 damage. Haarlem's armor withstood it.
Let's see what happens at 10 kilometers.
The shell hits the torpedo protection, 0 damage.
Unexpected. A salvo at 15 kilometers.
Same as the first shot, 17 damage. Oh well, no Citadel hits scored.
Which means that Haarlem has a great chance to take the lead in our show.
The targets are ready. Haarlem is ready too. Salvo.
Over penetration and 1/10 of the full damage.
Okay. A salvo from 10 kilometers.
Well done. It's a Citadel hit.
Before congratulating Haarlem on her victory, let's see her fire from 15 kilometers, just to be sure.
1,584 damage, quite decent.
Okay, it's 1-0 for the Dutch cruiser.
Exactly. Haarlem's armor withstood the shells from Charles Martel. But we still have more tests.
It's time to move on to combat salvo.
But first, a commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, our company welcomes you. Fly our airlines. Travel on our liners. take a romantic underwater cruise and see the most picturesque spots of our game. We're also making preparations for the first intergalactic journey. After crossing hundreds of thousands of light years, you will find yourself
on the polygon! Go on a safari to hunt down the most dangerous sea beasts from the far reaches of space.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking forward to seeing you.
In this test, the targets and distances are the same. Only this time, the ships will fire a full salvo with AP shells, just like in a regular battle. The shooter will fire only one salvo at each target. The ship that scores a Citadel hit wins.
If neither ship scores a Citadel hit, the one that deals more damage wins.
Who is starting?
Charles Martel, which lost in the first test.
A salvo from 5 kilometers.
1 over penetration, 3 penetrations, and 5,300 damage.
10 kilometers.
2 over penetrations, 2 penetrations, and 2 non-penetrations. 4214 damage. Hey, are you sure Martel can hit citadels?
Wait, we still have a target at 15 kilometers.
3 over penetrations and 3 penetrations. Damage 6321.
Charles Martel's result is almost 16,000 damage. No Citadel hits. It's Haarlem's turn.
The first salvo is from 5 kilometers.
7 over penetrations and 1 torpedo protection hit. The result is predictable, a little more than 3,000.
10 kilometers, 9 shells are in the air.
Citadel hit, 6,700 damage, 4 over penetrations, and 1 penetration.
But it was a good one. Okay, 15 kilometers.
6,864 damage, and a Citadel hit again.
It means 2-0 for Haarlem, right?
Exactly. 2 tests and 2 victories. Excellent.
This may be excellent, but Charles Martel has a chance to catch up to the Dutch ship in the next test. Our heroes will both act as targets.
First, 3 Charles Martels will be positioned at the familiar distances. Then 3 Haarlems will replace them. Battleship Amargi, a ship with one of the largest calibers at Tier 8, will fire at our cruisers.
10 410mm guns. The maximum damage from an armor-piercing salvo is 126,000. The Japanese battleship will aim at the center of the ship's hull at the waterline level. She will fire 1 full salvo from all her guns at each ship.
A few words about the rules. In this test, victory will be scored for the cruisers to be more exact, that lose the fewest hit points.
Basically, the victory will go to the cruiser that receives the lowest damage from Amargi.
Amargi is ready to fire. Off we go!
The first target, 5,000 damage.
The second target.
13,860 and a Citadel hit.
The third target.
Yippee! This is a one-shot. Amargi's salvo destroyed the third Charles Martel.
With 3 salvos fired at the French cruisers, Amargi inflicted 49,700 damage.
The Haarlems are up next. Firing distance, no changes. Off we go.
5 kilometers.
Oh, incredible! An intact Haarlem is sent to the port right off the bat.
10 kilometers.
Ooh, that was close. 28,000 damage.
And finally, 15 kilometers.
Just one more time, almost 30,500. Amargi is a true nightmare for Haarlem.
Amargi caused 95,000 damage on the second try.
I told you that Martel had every chance to catch up to Haarlem, and this is it. The score is 2-1, still for Haarlem.
But this is just the result of our show. In a regular battle, Amargi can easily destroy both 3 Charles Martels and 3 Haarlems.
Blah, blah, blah. 2-1, that's it.
We have a secondary gun test ahead.
But first, a short commercial break.
the only battleship with powerful guns and almost impenetrable armor at her tier. Her secondary battery is capable of firing over distances equivalent to almost 40 football fields. A legend that still exists in metal. The one and only Mikasa. Call now.
Well, in this test, it's the secondary battery that will act as the main firepower. But since the secondary guns of our two cruisers are far from the strongest, we've decided to see how long the cruisers will survive under fire from two grosser Kurfürsts.
By the way, the Kurfürsts will have fully upgraded secondary batteries. Consequently, the cruisers will have a tough time.
The cruiser that survives the German shells for the longest time will be declared the winner.
Both Germans will be at a distance of 5 kilometers from the cruiser on the left and right sides.
Now, let's do this.
Charles Martel survived 52 seconds under the secondary battery fire.
It's Haarlem's turn now.
"47 seconds, and the Dutch cruiser gets a ticket back to the port. Can you explain why Charles Martel, with her worse armor, survived longer than Haarlem?
It's not a matter of armor. If you noticed, both cruisers were set on fire during the gunfire. So, Haarlem has a longer fire extinguishing time than that of her French counterpart.
Oh, I see. Everything's clear now. It's also clear that the score in today's Rico Chet is now 2-2. Have you tried our water yet? Dark water? Light water? Transparent water? Hot water? Salt water? Nice water? Refreshing water? Frosty water? Water in World of Warships? You can sail on it, fight on it, drown enemies. You can sink in it, you can dive into it, you can fly over it, bomb it, torpedo it, launch rockets. It's the best water in the world. Water in World of Warships. Try it and you'll love it too. We're back. You're still watching the Rico Chet Show, where two ships sort out which of them is cooler. In our show, we also test ships to demonstrate what they are capable of. Today's participants are Tier 8 cruisers Charles Martel and Haarlem, which represent France and the Netherlands respectively.
Let's announce a new test.
Let's try out torpedoes?
But Haarlem has no torpedoes.
No big deal. She'll use airstrike instead. Our cruisers will employ this armament against a really huge and formidable enemy, the one that has the biggest HP pool.
How about Battleship Kremlin?
She'll do. She has 46% anti-torpedo protection, her deck armor is 60 millimeters thick, and she boasts 108,300 HP.
The cruiser that sinks Kremlin with fewer attacks with auxiliary weapons wins. The battleship, like the cruisers, will remain stationary. For this reason, Charles Martel can only use one side. This test might not be so fair and square.
But it will be fun. Off we go.
Again, Charles Martel starts first.
3 drops, 9 torpedoes, and Kremlin is back in port. Well, not bad.
Don't forget that in addition to the main damage caused by torpedoes, Kremlin also lost hit points from flooding twice.
Yes, that's right. But Haarlem will also inflict damage by causing fire in addition to the direct damage from her bombs.
By the way, here's our Dutch cruiser.
It took Haarlem 3 airstrikes and 42 bomb hits.
Yes, 3 as well. But there's something to point out here. The thing is that airstrike bombs cover a large area.
Yes, I noticed that not all the bombs hit Kremlin.
Exactly. But those that did hit the target caused fire on the battleship's deck. At one point, there were 4 fires on Kremlin. Perhaps Kremlin took more damage from the fires than from the bombs.
It doesn't matter. It took both ships 3 attempts to sink a Tier 10 battleship with their secondary armament. We have a draw in this test.
So, the total score so far is also a draw, 3-3. But we have one more test left. We decided to find out how far the cruiser can travel from the border of the map while being attacked by 3 Midway aircraft carriers. No maneuvering, movement only along a straight course at full speed. The aircraft are under the control of artificial intelligence, so the cruisers will both have a fair chance to go as far as possible. For the first attempt, the cruisers will be without any upgrades or commander skills.
In the second race, we'll fully reinforce their AA defenses.
Also, a priority AA sector and the defensive AA fire consumable will be activated regularly.
The winner will be the cruiser that travels farthest along a straight course than the other one over 2 races.
In her first attempt, Charles Martel managed to travel almost 4 squares. Judging by the minimap, Haarlem was sunk as soon as she reached the 3rd square.
The second race, but first, another commercial break.
Got a fever from 4 fires? Citadel hurts from being hit. Started taking in water quickly? Hit points fading fast. Not a problem. Take advantage of our marvelous medicines. The Warships Pharmaceuticals Company is happy to present innovative treatments for fires, drowning, and issues related to the loss of hit points. Damage Control Party and Repair Party. These are the best remedies for fighting ships' troubles. And also, we have a novelty product, Specialized Repair Teams. It restores your HP pool much more efficiently. It's the perfect choice for British battleships. This is not an anti-fire solution. Check with your ship commander before use. 12+.
We're back again. This is the Rico Chet Show, and we're about to conduct the Ocean Race Test.
As we've already mentioned, our cruisers will have commander skills mastered and upgrades equipped in the final race. All of them improve air defense.
And here we have almost even results. Both ships were destroyed after passing 4 squares.
Well, we can announce the result. In the ocean race, Charles Martel wins by a narrow margin.
Which means that a French ship has won in 2 shows in a row. The score is 4-3 for Charles Martel.
Despite the fact that Charles Martel prevailed, I think both cruisers are good.
In fact, I personally think that the main thing in our game is to command your ship wisely.
To keep her strengths and weaknesses in mind.
And not to expose your sides to Amagi's salvos.
This was the 2nd episode of Rico Chet, a show where we pit 2 ships against each other.
We test their durability in the most extreme tests.
Tell us in the comments what 2 ships you would like to see face off against each other in our next episode.
Remember to hit the like button under the video and subscribe to our channel. See ya!